Hi, in this unit, we're going to talk about spiritual development, how dreams can be related or even help us in our spiritual development. Now, this is a quite important topic, of course, and the main question is what do we understand by spiritual development? Let's look at some slides. In my understanding, spiritual development is a process through which we gradually open up to our higher or deeper potential. So it's not a matter of religion, not necessarily, it can be, but not necessarily. It's an inner process, an inner search for this full reconnection with what we really are deeper inside ourselves, discovering our real identity. It is an awakening to something that resides inside of us. It's not a search for outside, it's a search for inside. And in fact, every human being has that. Our dreams invite us constantly to look inside for answers. We have all the answers. The only true guide resides within each individual. And the whole point is how to reach that inner guide, how to access that inner space. Dreams give us some clues and sometimes offer direct experience, which then is not to be understood as a metaphor often. So whether Christian, Muslim, Jew, Taoist, Buddhist, or whatever other religion, believer in God or atheist, we all have dreams that guide us on this path towards self-realization. It's all about becoming who we really are, which is not at all what we think we are. Let's look at a few dreams that are quite meaningful. This is an adult man. He says, when falling asleep, I wondered what truly knowing myself would be like. And then I had this dream. I become aware of an incredible, indescribably powerful love light. I have the thought that there is no power like it. It is absolutely non-judgmental. It dwarfs everything I have experienced, every worry or desire I ever had. It is peace and simplicity and well-being. It includes sexuality, but encompasses far, far more. Bathing in what feels like an ocean of grace, I soon realize that I am not looking at it, but rather that I am it, recognizing myself. Well, this kind of dream, this kind of experience, does not really need any reformulation. It reflects just an experience, a clear experience. There is no metaphor. So this kind of dream considerably helps the dreamer in opening up and anchoring into his deeper self, his essence. It is quite likely that we all have, or at least can have, similar experiences during our sleep, but most people just don't remember them. Another man. I am flying upwards, entering into a space that feels like being, and at the same time like some kind of living church or temple. A sacred place in which a community of individuals comes and meditates together. I move right into a specific location which I know is my personal place. I know I belong there as part of a being, part of a group, a brotherhood, a family. It feels like going home. And at the same time, this home is a being, a person, like some master who feels incredibly familiar. I come into contact with the radiating and loving presence of that master. It is almost like I am one with that presence. And at the same time, it is so much more than me. There is a strong feeling of reunion, of oneness. It is an ecstatic experience, and it draws tears out of me. I wake up crying, but feeling blessed. I also know this is not a one-time experience. It's more like the first time I remember it and bring it back into my consciousness. So here again, the dream is not a metaphor. It is an experience, an expression of who I am as part of a family, a wider oneness. This is not a mental concept. It is an experience involving clear and strong feelings. Here, a young woman, she's 27. I find myself in a nice country house all by myself. I feel at home, totally secure and enjoy. Walking out into the garden, I see a gallery with white columns, very finely shaped. I marvel at the sunshine playing with the leaves in the trees. Then I notice a group of girls walking in my direction, chatting joyfully together. They look only slightly older than me. They all wear white robes. One of them invites me to join a party that is going to be held, which I accept. And the next thing I know, I am at the entrance of a huge hall. The night has come, there is no one yet. I enter that hall and marvel at its huge dome. Everything is pure white, except for the golden pillars supporting the dome. There is no decoration, no furniture. I stand there feeling very tiny. My heart is totally at peace. Then I hear some people coming. A group enters, led by a girl who might be around 18. She is the most astonishing, most divine beauty I could possibly imagine. She seems to combine Western and Eastern features. Her golden hair dances around her delicate face. Her blue eyes radiate purity and gentleness. Her skin is pure and shiny, slightly tanned, almost golden. And the most surprising thing is, she doesn't wear any clothes. But this appears as something perfectly natural. No one seems to pay any attention to it. My own attention is fully on that girl, while she walks smiling towards me. And then I notice some white swans coming in as well, graceful animals accompanying this divine appearance. And then I wake up. Now this dreamer named her dream A Visit to Heaven. And the question one might ask is, who is that being of divine beauty? Who does she represent? What does she represent? The answer can only be, she's the dreamer herself. The dreamer met her own higher self in a personalized form. She was not ready to identify with that part of her, but she could see it, feel her presence. So, after a dream like this, role-playing, identifying with that presence, integrating her qualities consciously, being that divine beauty, is the most empowering and resourceful next step that can be done. The fact that this divine appearance is naked indicates her total transparency. She has nothing to hide. There is a total openness and trust, which the dreamer is ready to see and welcome, because it reflects her own transparency, her own purity. The white swans also reflect her own grace and purity, another aspect of herself. A very powerful dream, and she has kept that, in fact, for many years as something, as a jewel that she carried with her. It really changed something deeply inside her, reconnected her with something. And working out the dream, of course, amplified that. So spiritual dreams are not limited to visiting celestial realms. They may involve all kinds of features like conquering summits, going on a pilgrimage, visiting temples, sacred places, meeting saints, angels, beings of light, of wisdom, of power, any resourceful element representing the inner parent or inner resources, going home, etc. Many other elements from our dream experience can in fact invite us to reconnect with our essential self. These are all very recurring themes that reflect our basic aspiration to unify, unite with our higher self, our deeper self. Let's look at this dream. A man in his 60s. I am at a party in a luxurious house with a reception room, a large terrace, a big garden. There are many people inside and outside, nibbling at a buffet with all kinds of great dishes. I walk to the terrace, knowing that I have been asked to make a little speech to the people gathered there. I have to introduce a little guy who is quietly sitting on the side there. He looks a little bit like a child, quite short and quite charming. But I don't really know him. I say to some people close to me, "Can you tell me something about this guy? I don't know anything about him." But the next thing I know is I am starting my speech. And I say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are having with us someone, a man, who is truly exceptional. He successfully passed a number of tests and obtained the recognition of all. Even though he looks like a child, which is not an easy condition, the truth is he is a wonderful person. And I invite you to welcome and applaud Mr." And there I wake up, hearing my own name, as I am the one being called. I feel quite surprised and puzzled by this dream. So the message of this dream is clear. It is time to recognize and celebrate your own greatness, your own value, your own beauty. And this is true for us all. We often totally neglect doing that. This is also a part of our spiritual development, which our dreams continuously remind us of. What an amazing dream indeed, like all of them. Once again, we can only marvel at our dream intelligence. That part of us that is able to produce such impressive experiences, so totally perfect, totally appropriate, totally true. Let's not forget that we all have this ability, even those among us who are little educated or in a reduced physical or mental state. Whether child or old, poor or rich, our dream intelligence is the same. It is like God inside of us, talking gently to bring us back home. You can call it God, you could call it anything else. It's really you. It's the part of you that is a piece of God. It's there, and it talks to you all the time. Whoever you are. You may not remember it, and the kind of dreams that are so meaningful will come when you're ready for that, or if you ask for that. So please do, don't forget. In next unit, we will look at the timing of the dream, how dreams relate to specific inner or outer conditions, always perfectly appropriate. So this is it for this unit. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.